Cahors, The Lot, and the 18th edition of this international urban trial event. But before that, a relaxing walk at Cap Nature by the river's edge. Paintball, orienteering, leaping through the trees, laserwood and more. Camille, one of the young bosses of this place, spoke to us about the outdoor activities the park offers. Aqua Branche in the trees is designed for everyone from 2 years up. We have different levels, different heights and difficulties. We're open in the Easter holidays and in the October holidays too. Then there's tree climbing, an activity which is out of the ordinary. We don't use rocks or artificial surfaces. We climb on trees and you can climb up to 14 meters. Then there's canoeing, on the lot by our land, alone or as a group, it doesn't matter. Choose your formula. The main thing is to be able to swim. In the old lot docks, a new space for youngsters has recently been created. BMX, skateboarding and also music. Hugo, in charge here, explains the place to us. A lot of things happen here that are linked to urban culture. Above all, this is a skate park. All the walls here are designed to be used for graffiti. It's the municipality's response to savage tagging. Since the start of the year, there's been a room for contemporary music. And there are a lot of activities around that. Saturday evening is reserved for a bike trial contest, a very spectacular discipline that requires an extraordinary sense of balance from the riders. These must cover 4 of the 8 trial zones twice. The battle will be huge, as the best riders in the world are here at Cahors. Pierre Estripo, a young and very promising rider, opened hostilities on these huge limestone blocks, making a few errors. He was good overall, though, on his small 20-inch bike. Jordi Vider at the handlebars of a 26-incher, the other category in the discipline, delighted the fans with great runs. Cedric Fontenoy is also in the 26s. He shows great maturity. His point sheet is building. He's up for the challenge and good to watch. Aurélien Fontenoy, the elder brother and twice world champion, a silver medalist at the Worlds in 2014, makes the family name shine. A family that's very close-knit, even during competitions. Adam Mustiles, the Spaniard, is a star on his 20-incher, dominating the evening, scoring huge points, putting him beyond the reach of his rivals. Maxime Tolu, third in the 2010 Worlds, is a young cyclist who has already won much. He loves Cahors and proves it with a fine effort here in front of enthusiastic and dazzled spectators. Andre Burton, representing Great Britain, puts on a show. He loves this event and he's proved it on several occasions. A renowned competitor, he's dominant. Benito Ross, the calm Iberian on his small 20-inch bike, tries to get onto the top step of the podium and fights his rivals bitterly. Kevin Belay, the Belgian champion, is here, and he shows his superiority in the zones throughout the contest, to the great joy of the fans, the youngest of the 4. Holding off Aurélien Fontenoy second and Andre Burton on the bottom step, Mr. Lazy takes the win in style, and still with that timid little smile. The bicycle trial is over, and many riders put on a show, helped by the spectators who didn't know quite what to expect. We couldn't stay in Cahors without sampling the gastronomy and the local products. Jean-François Dive, a chef much inspired by local products, hosted us in his beautiful establishment with the unequivocal name L'eau à la bouche.
My
specialities are often inspired by seasonal and local products. We have magnificent products here like rocamadour, truffles, foie gras and lamb. And the wine is very good, and the young wine producers full of bright ideas. For restaurateurs, it's a pleasure to be in this region. The menu here is determined by the market, because twice a week I go to the Cahors market to go shopping. Today, for example, I went to the Cahors market and I bought myself some small tête noire, magnificent mushrooms, small capers that smell of the wood. And now we're thinking about a menu based around capers. Sunday morning is morose. The rain falls heavily and tenaciously on the zones. The start is postponed and all look for the skies to change. Organiser Didier Valade first and foremost. He says it's a great addition, unfortunately a sodden one for now, but at the start of the afternoon we're hopeful the day can proceed as normal. We have a magnificent town with beautiful places. It's a dynamic town where there's a lot going on. We try to translate that into our event and put the zones in beautiful parts of the town to show them off, to show what we have and our savoir-faire. It's for that reason as well this year that we went for a more radical choice of decor, with graphs and colour, so that youngsters feel more at home, and it's really nice. After a Kenny Thomas backflip, at last we can get going. 3 wooden sections are deemed too dangerous to use, but there will still be 2 laps to be completed. In the order of appearance on screen we have in the juniors Cahors, Marc Ribot, Lazaro, Maxime Varin, Gael Chatagneau, Arnaud Faré, Benoît Bancaz, Miguel Jalabert, Quentin Carl de Codenberg, Julien Perret and Nicolas Karim. In the World Pros, Eddie Carlson, Jaime Busto in Cahors for the first time, Loris Gubien, Alex Ferrer, Gironi Fajardo, Takehisa Fujinami, Albert Cabestany, Adam Raga and Tony Booth. The creme de la creme is here, the rain seems to be easing and we can get started. Kenny Thomas goes first in the event. Concrete slabs, tight and slippery, await him. He doesn't score many points, but he does get through. Julien Perret, a convert now to show trial, is here anyway. The local here, he honours the discipline and puts in a fine run with 0 penalties despite the difficult conditions. Théo Colero, the Scorpa rider, starts well in this zone before his first mishaps. It's really slippy there. Fortunately, they're not against the clock because the event has been too perturbed by the skies. Marc Ribot Lazaro, the tenacious Spanish junior, puts in a calm first run and scores good points. Now it's Nicolas Karim's turn. He makes it. There is a bit of tension in his moves as nothing's easy here at Cahors, but well guided by his follower, he overcomes the difficulty. Maxime Varin starts well, but is tripped up as it's as slippery as a shower floor here. He falls, fortunately without hurting himself. Focused Arnaud Faré puts in a more than honourable run with judicious choices. Not too many risks and big points, a fine run here. In the World Pros, young Eddie Carlson is tense for his first Cahors outing. He needs to get used to it before he can let himself go, and it will come, be sure of that. Jaime Busto, Tony Boo's little protege in the Honda Repsol, is one of the most promising riders. He impresses and comes through the first obstacle as if it's a mere formality. Tony Boo is the last into the first zone and he seems to be in form. He finds it so easy it's disconcerting, but in a rush he does everything off the back wheel. It's a way of creating an impression, laying down the law. Straight to Zone 4 now, Zones 2 and 3 being too dangerous. Big concrete blocks full of traps await our competitors. Cahors sets off. Determined, he gets through the first obstacles no problem and comes through well in this zone, which will sort people out. Quentin de Codembert is at the start. Nothing is easy at the beginning of the event as the competitors get used to it. His run is okay, but he doesn't get points at the final gates after making a small mistake. Benoit Bancaz, another rider in Scorpa colours, masters the big slippy steps without too much drama. He does the job and scores big points which will be precious to him later. Miguel Gelabert, not yet up to speed, struggles in this zone but makes up for it at other moments. Loris Gubian, the French champion, gives a lesson in this zone. At ease and elegant, that doesn't stop him failing, and that's not great for the rest of the event. Alex Ferrer, the world champion from France, riding for Sherco, does exactly what's needed to score points in this zone, which isn't easy. And he pleases the fans who appreciate his generous efforts. Fujinami, the flying Japanese, nicknamed Fujigaz. He too has some problems in this exceptionally tricky and delicate zone. Failure for Fujinami. Giovanni Fujado gets away well. Unfortunately, the traps get to him despite his desire to do well. In the last section, faced by a large step, he makes a mistake and is classed as a failure. Albert Cabestany is calm, imperial. He works impeccably in this Zone 4 and scores important points. Adam Raga, the big World Championship challenger to Tony Boo, forces himself to do well and does. And that's good because the overall standings count. Here, he starts to make the difference. The battle will be tight. Set around the Neptune fountain right at the heart of the town, Zone 5 is one of the toughest. Kenny Thomas, one of the first to attack it, has a good start, though he makes several mistakes at the end to heavily penalise himself. A pity. This big step in the water is very difficult. Del Calero has a few problems in this slippy zone. He does score points, however, despite putting his foot down several times. Quentin Carl de Codembert has a good run through the fountain zone, scoring precious points without overexerting himself. The event is long and he's in control. Eddie Carlson puts together a very good run through this damp section before realising how tough it is and then finishing in fine style. This young talent is impressive with his technical mastery and sang-froid. Loris Gubian comes unstuck in this zone. The front wheel gets stuck in the edge of the fountain and he struggles to extricate himself. In the end he does, for better or worse. Julien Perret puts in a good first lap, confirming his fine form in a zone which slowed down many. His new job in the trial spectacle has helped him progress, it would appear. Jaime Busto confirms all the good we think of him with his run through the zone. Busto, here for the first time, is not overawed, and this lad could surprise us in the years to come. Giovanni Fajardo is at ease in this zone and a cut above the rest. He scores huge points and is closing in on the leading positions overall. Zone 6 is all in limestone and here by the banks of the Lot opposite the Pont Valentré. Nicolas Carin puts in a good run and scores big points, encouraged by the wonderful setting and enthusiastic spectators. Gael Chatagno comes through well despite beginning to show signs of fatigue. Benoit Bancaz does the job with assurance, not letting himself be overcome. The last zones are hard, and it's the same for everybody. Alex Ferrer starts the zone with jokes from his rivals ringing in his ears. It's very slippy, and you have to go slowly but surely. He does manage to get through the gates with style, ending the ribbing, which was unjustified without a doubt. Now Fujinami's go. Even if he's usually relaxed and smiling, you can tell that each point counts. And so he's studious in tone as he goes through quickly and elegantly. Cabestany has a few problems in this zone made slippy by the morning rain. Slow, he manages to come through without making a mistake, which is good for the overall standings. Adam Raga does what almost all his friends have done, that is to say skipping the opening 10-point gate. After that it's a formality, and you can tell this top rider is in terrific form. Tony Boot starts well before messing up on a vicious landing. It's maybe here that the podium hopes are being decided. A small but unfortunately very costly mistake for Boot. In Zone 7 on these concrete pipes, the atmosphere is more relaxed. The day is coming to an end and people are unwinding. Marc Ribalazzaro shows his balance here, taking his time without the pressure of the clock. He applies himself and scores a good result. Also here is Arnaud Faré, very focused. His run, while unspectacular, scores big points, and that's the name of the game. Miguel Jalabert gets through the difficult section of the zone with ease. Back up to jump better, his motto no doubt. And it works for him on this evidence as he scores big points, not missing out on any of the 10-point gates. Jaime Busto in this zone starts with a fanfare. Overly optimistic, he messes up. The fire of youth, it doesn't affect his good humour. Having dried out, the tree trunk zone cancelled in the morning, well, the riders are going to be able to take it on after all, following serious reconnaissance. Eddie Carlson shows his talent through a huge obstacle for coming unstuck at the next gate. He's tired, but he's done well, and we look forward to seeing him here again. Jaime Busto doesn't hang about. He skips the first difficult obstacle and throws himself into it. He's up for it and proves it, getting through the last zone with ease and a feeling of a job well done. Well, Giovanni Fajardo does a nice jump at the exit there, 4 or 5 metres in the air, landing in a small area. He's really strong. Albert Cabestany comes through easily. We can tell he's in a hurry to finish, and he ends well placed in the top 5. Alex Ferrer, leading after the first rotation, has a lot at stake here, but it's very hard. He does give it his all, knowing a podium place depends on these final zones. He comes through without penalties, and that's the way he is. Fujinami starts the zone slowly in order to accelerate through to the finish and lay down the law to his friends. He's still a big champion, despite the passing years. Adam Raga has to have a good run. He puts everything into it and stands out with a fluid, accomplished display and finishes with a lap of honour on the back wheel. Tony Bou, beauty in its purest form. No apparent effort, he's economical in movement and an extraordinary champion. Once the count is finished, Adam Raga and Alex Ferrer find themselves equal first, and a speed race will separate them. Adam Raga goes first. He needs only 11 seconds to get through the zone selected by the organisers. When Alex Ferrer gets into it, he knows he needs to be better than Raga. He can't do it and needs 15 seconds to cover the course. That means he's second, which is very honourable, especially in the wet conditions. The podium is also the chance to see Benoit Bancaz crowned the junior champion, followed by Gaël Chatagno and Quentin Carl de Codenberg. Miguel Jalabert and Arnaud Faré complete the top 5. In the World Pros, Adam Raga is on the top step ahead of Alex Ferrer and Tony Bou, who isn't used to finishing third. Kebestani and Fujinami complete the top 5. With the prizes handed out, the spectators are treated to their habitual present, a speed race just for fun on the concrete blocks. You have to go through it both ways against the clock, and it's for the podium finishers. They're fatigued and the difficulties are huge, but it's spectacular. And Tony Bou, off colour by his standards here, gains a measure of revenge as he wins from Raga and Ferrer. Bou, a true champion. And that's how we finish off this show. We'll say see you next year for the Trial Urban de Cahors, which will be fantastic once more. We'll see you again next year.
Premier, Tony Bou, deuxième, Alex Ferrer, encore une fois de plus. Bravo à vous le public d'avoir été aussi patient, d'avoir attendu autant de temps.